All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of The Nerds Who Drink. I'm Steve.
I'm Mark.
And guys, this week we are following up on the most recent holiday, Thanksgiving. So let's talk a quick bit about that before we jump into our beer, which has been brought here by Mark today. So it's now Saturday, the day after Black Friday, which is the day after Thanksgiving. How you feeling?
Unaccomplished. I feel like I bought nothing on Black Friday, so
Fair.
I'll keep my eyes out for Cyber Monday. I bought one thing, and then
I feel like Black Friday's dead.
dude, Amazon kills everything.
I think it's just the internet. I wouldn't even say just Amazon. Like, name a company that hasn't been texting you or emailing you all week.
No, I get it. I used to work at Best Buy, and I remember people used to line up out the door at probably like 12
Just talking
o'clock.
about that.
12 o'clock or so to get ready to come in. Now, like, everything's just open, like, right after Thanksgiving dinner. Like, stay home, enjoy time with your family, shop the next day.
I agree.
I know too many people that, like, they'll eat dinner, and, like, as soon as dinner's done, they're like, all right, we got to get to the stores. And it's like, why?
Yeah, I honestly miss those days. I used to go out, like, I'd hang out with family for a little bit. I'd go to bed, maybe sleep like an hour or two, and then hop up and get ready to, go to the stores around like 11, 12 o'clock. Because nothing's opening at 12. It's still going to open at, 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., whatever time they decide they're going to pop the doors that day. But yeah, family time is important. But I do miss the nostalgia and the rush of, like, I can't wait to go to Best Buy this year. I'm going to buy a new TV and I'm going to fight like 13 people because there's only 100 of them.
This is like, I think it was Kmart. They would do, like, the hourly sales. So you, like, had to wait until whatever time, whatever you wanted. So, say, like you said, like, oh, I want to get a new TV, but the TV didn't go on sale until, like, 3. That's when it got interesting.
Yeah, I genuinely do miss those days. I was having that conversation over the past couple days, honestly, just because it was like, what do I have to look forward to? Black Friday, it's like Amazon. And now there's Cyber Monday, which I'm not against. But even still, like, that's the incentive to not shop on Black Friday. I used to go to the outlets because, whatever was on sale would be even more on sale. And that was kind of a fun little trip ski, but
That was
I don't know. I feel like it's lost its magic as I got older.
Yeah, I used to go out to the, I think it was Under Armour. I think it was like the Under Armour store out there on Route 30.
Yeah.
Dude, I would get everything for football, for wrestling season. I'd just get everything in one fell swoop.
Yep. I miss that shit.
Before
we get too deep into this episode, Mark, tell us what we got this week.
So today, obviously, Steve and I both are from the Philadelphia area, so we kind of wanted to show our spirit and support. So I'm going with the Victory's Brotherly Love. Victory Brewing Company is actually in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. And Steve, if you kind of analyze the can, I think you'll notice a lot of little things that are nice and that Philadelphians would notice.
Absolutely. I'm a huge fan of the can art. You got the Liberty Bell on there, Bird Gang, 1776. The Philadelphia Keystones on there, which is awesome. And what I did like, so if I'm not mistaken, what I can assume from Victory is that they started in 1996 or maybe 1896. But 96 is an important number to them because instead of the 76ers, it says 96 instead of 95. Like Highway, it says 96. But you've got the snake, We the Brewers instead of We the People. I love that kind of stuff. Like it still pays homage to the city, but in their own little way. And then it has the citywide on there, which if you're from Philadelphia, you know what a citywide is. If not, well, come to Philly and we'll show you. So without further ado, 1, 2, yeah.
This is supposed to be a citrusy beer, and they brewed it kind of to help support all the areas in Philly for making them as big as they have been.
Okay. It smells delicious, honestly. It does. It smells really good. Pleasantly surprised. Not that I thought I wasn't going to like it, but I like it a lot more than I thought I was going to. Like, a lot more. It's like really good. I can have a couple of these and not get bored of it. I think that's one of the big things with certain beers. Like, some of them, it's either, it's too sweet, it's too hoppy, it's too this, it's too that. But, like, this is something that I could sit back, have a couple of, and kind of relax, which is awesome.
Yeah, I feel like for me, the big thing for me is like a lot of IPAs, it's always the aftertaste. Like, I feel like the aftertaste is usually where you get kind of like kicked. And this one has like nothing. It just kind of settles real smooth, hits the tongue really gently. And it's just really good,
No,
especially like citrusy beers. Like you said, usually they're way too sweet.
no, I like this. A little hazy IPA. Solid. All right, now we were just talking about this earlier, so this is something I know I'm very late on. I think it was like 20, maybe 13-ish that it either finished up or it can't. I don't even know exactly when. I haven't done enough research on it, but I just started watching Breaking Bad, and I know I'm like really far behind on that show, and I get some of their memes and references and stuff like that and whatever. Like I know what Breaking Bad was. I know Walter White. I know I get the concept of he was making meth. Like that was my understanding of it. I didn't really know much else. I know he was like a teacher or something prior to doing meth. No, he wasn't doing meth. Sorry, he was creating meth. But yeah, like I was like, oh, that sounds like a kind of cool show. But I think I got on it too late, and by the time I wanted to watch it, I think at the time like streaming wasn't as big. I believe I was in the military during some of the seasons, which is actually my excuse for a lot of the shit. It was like I don't have enough time to like sit down and watch TV all the time. It was like, all right, I'll catch up with it when I catch up with it. And so I had some time at work, and I was like, you know what? Let me just crack an episode or two open and see if I like it. If I hate it, whatever. It's whatever, an hour and a half of my time. And I love it. I really do. I think it's a solid series so far. I'm only on midway through season 2. But I'm happy.
Yeah, Breaking Bad was one that I started to watch when it first was on TV. So I went through like I was telling you, I got through like 3/4 like the first season. Then I ended up going back to school. Then I got tired of schoolwork and everything, and then tried jumping back in at like season 3. And I just was so lost that I was like, you know what? I don't have time right now to kind of go back and rewatch. I was in the middle of watching things like Arrow, and I believe The Flash was out by that point, Supernatural, shows like that that was taking up pretty much most of my time. And I was like, you know what? Like, this seems like a cool show, and I believe the hype behind it that everybody has for it, but I just don't have the time for it right now, and never really got back into it. It seemed enjoyable, and I know they had the spinoff, Better Call Saul, I think.
They had that, and then they have a movie as well.
They
do the Breaking Bad movie. I will get the name for it in a second. But El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, 2019. So it was like I think it was well after the series had ended, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe just after the series ended. And yeah, I mean, I saw the preview for it, I guess, because I'm watching Breaking Bad on Netflix, and it was like, hey, you might like this. So Better Call Saul's on there, and El Camino. So I'll definitely be watching those because season 2 is when Saul really sort of like sinks his claws into the series. So it was an interesting, again, I've heard the TV series Better Call Saul. I've heard of this, heard it. Like, I just figured it was time. It was really time for me to like, knuckle down and actually watch it because I hate to say it, but like, I'm getting to the point in my streaming where I'm like, what? Why do I have 30 different streaming companies? I watched one series per. Yeah, obviously I have Disney forever. Well, probably forever because of the kids, but like, I don't know. I just feel like I have Amazon Prime Video because I have Amazon Prime, so that's not going anywhere. Unless I lose my shopping addiction or my need for random shit at random times. But like, at this point, I'm like, I don't know what else to. Like, do I need Peacock? Probably not, but I get it for free through like Xfinity. So I was like, okay, I mean, there's that. And it's like, do I need Hulu? Because I have Disney Plus and everything from Hulu's on Disney Plus now. So it's just, there's a lot of overlap and shit. And, I don't know. It's a lot. Streaming has become like overwhelming at this point. It's like cable.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's like.
And it's fucking expensive now.
Well, that's what me and my wife are. Like, we'll be sitting there, we're like, okay, like, let's watch something new. And then we can't find anything. And we're like, let's just go back to The Office. And then we watch The Office.
Office is always a solid fallback. I do love The Office. It's one of those shows that I could watch 1,000 times over. And same thing with like How I Met Your Mother. On the last season of that again. It's just one of those things where like, I'm going to go to bed. I'm not going to miss anything if I miss an episode. So,
dude, I finished Penguin. Oh my God. It is So good.
And again, probably, slap my wrists another time, but I haven't even started because I forget that I have HBO.
I'm telling you right now, like, say we didn't see the Batman movie, you would not be that lost watching it. Like,
see, and I heard that from our friends over at Listen 3000. Like, they said it's
you feel like
an amazing series.
Like The Sopranos, and like it'd be like if The Sopranos was a comic book comic.
Okay, so you know what? I'll probably.
It's more of a mob show than it is like a comic book show.
Okay, yeah, I'll give that a go.
And the casting is perfect. Clancy Brown plays Maroni.
Okay.
I think it's his name, Clancy Brown. He plays a villain in like everything he's in. If you watch, did you watch the newest season of Dexter?
The one with the where he's like dating the cop.
The one like with like him, yeah, like him on.
Yeah.
Okay, so the main like villain, the dude that plays him in that season,
yeah.
His name's Clancy Brown. It's something Clancy or Clancy something. But plays Maroni. Then obviously you have I always forget her name. But I swear to God, if her and Colin Farrell do not win awards for this show, when I tell you it's that good, the one who plays the mom on How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, is the mom from How I Met Your Mother? I think her name is like Alexandra with an M. Millock.
I forget, but she is such a good actress. She plays the part of Sophia to a T.
Kristen Milotti.
She does.
You know what?
Such a good job.
I had that. I'll go with that.
But like, there are some parts that are very kind of like predictable, just because like Penguin's a rat, so like he's gonna do whatever he can to survive. Then they have some original characters that like aren't in the comics, so it's kind of like it kind of makes you like second guess some things, because like the way that I always go is like, oh, this guy's not in the comics, like he's a goner, and then it's like something may happen where like this person now isn't. It's like, oh, okay, and that's with anything. Like, I could be watching Lord of the Rings and there'd be like a 3-headed eagle, and I'm like, that thing's not in the books, so I know it doesn't survive, and then it turns out to be like the hero. Like, not that that actually happens. I'm not trying to aggravate all you Lord of the Ring fans with fake lore. I understand there is no 3-headed eagle. I'm just using it as a hyperbole to explain the situations that happen in the show without spoiling the show for Steve.
I appreciate you. So some big things that are coming up this December now that we are, closing out on November.
Moana 2.
Saw it yesterday. Don't even start.
Is it good?
Moana 2 is phenomenal.
Okay. I got nervous that like it turns into like your typical Disney sequel where it's like the original's really good, and they're like, we're gonna money grab off it, and then
I thought that's how it was gonna be. I was a little worried, but as a standalone movie, it would have been great. Like, obviously, there are references to the first one, like the character setup. Okay, that is literally all it has is character setup. So, like, you're not introduced to Maui again. You know who Maui is. You know who Moana is. You know who her parents are.
Hey.
But you have the new characters that are now integral parts of the story. You have the old characters that you love and remember. And then the new adventure and the new problem climax resolution.
Did you hear the newest Disney theory?
Maybe? Hit me.
Okay. So go back to when Stitch initially was coming out. Lilo and Stitch, like the cartoon. You remember all the promotions that they did for the movie? Where he would jump into the other Disney movies. He was climbing in the ceiling in the bell tower and all this other Beauty and the Beast. And then there was another one where he like popped up on like a space, or Aladdin, when they're on the magic carpet, he flies up next to them in the spaceship and Jasmine jumps in and fly away. Well, apparently there's a movie poster that they're getting ready to come out with. That were one of the first movie posters. And it's going to be the live-action Stitch holding, I forget what their names are from the first Moana movie, the little coconut people.
Kakamora.
He has one of the Kakamora, like he's sitting on a beach with a Kakamora in his mouth. And he's just kind of like got like his head cocked to the side.
I did see that.
So I've heard that they possibly will start taking the live action movies that they've come out with and edit Stitch into certain scenes for promotion for the live action, just like they did when the cartoon was coming out. And
I would be fine with that.
That's what I mean. Like, I would be hyped for that. So, like, it would be like him in Emma Watson's Beauty and the Beast.
I love that. That's funny.
It'd be him in Will Smith's Aladdin, like those kind of things.
See, that kind of stuff, like, that's what Disney needs to get back to. The classics. I'm so glad that Stitch looks the way he does, because I was very worried about a live action Stitch looking similar to our original version of live action Sonic. So that kind of stuff worried me, but I saw the trailer, well, I call it a trailer, a very brief, maybe 10-second preview for it at Moana 2 yesterday. You know, it was like a couple sandcastles on a beach, and like that was the setup for the entire scene, and then Stitch comes like rah, crashing through and like kicks all the sandcastles over. And that's really like to the extent of it, and he like rubs his nose on the screen like he does in the cartoon, and that's about it. You know, which again, that's enough for me. I don't need to see more right now. But it comes out at Labor Day weekend of 2025, so I'm trying to schedule some stuff around to go see that. Obviously, bring the baby. She loved Moana 2. Now she's old enough to like sit through an entire movie. First movie that we saw together was Elemental, and we made it like 80%, which I was happy about. But this time she made it all the way through, and she was excited. I'll have to show you pictures. Another time it was hilarious. But further down in the month, obviously we have Christmas, so super excited about that. You know, holiday times are huge for us. You know, with the families, but also with you guys. So you know, we have coming up our big, my Christmas party every year, which is our whiskey celebration. So super excited about that. And, you know, we are obviously the nerds who drink. Got the fancy boy this year. The 31-year aged Highland Scotch malt whiskey. Single malt Scotch whiskey. Sorry, I can't read. Super excited about this though. Like, it's a beautiful little nice wooden box it comes in.
Are we trying it and then all adding it to our bottles, or just for us to drink?
So I think what we're going to do is kind of like what we did last year. We're going to go around the table. Everyone's going to taste each other's whiskeys. So that'll take out just enough to pour this back into it. And we'll do like smaller shots, like 1 ounce shots, just for tasting, because it's classy. We're not alcoholics. Then we'll probably, we're going to fill up, and then whatever's left, we'll give a taste of this. But this, I mean, it's a sipper, but it's decently, I mean, obviously decently expensive. Yeah, a little bit more than last year, what we spent on it, but really nice. I mean, I heard great things about it while I was there at Total Wine. I got some new mead for us to try. It's called Odin's Skull. Yeah. And then obviously I have I got a fucking ton of whiskey for my birthday. So I got a new bottle of Macallan, 12-year. Eddie brought me some stuff over. I got a S'mores Southern Tier whiskey. I got a peanut butter whiskey, which are always hit or miss. I haven't even opened that one yet, but definitely looking forward to trying some stuff with you guys. It's going to be a good time.
I don't know. Peanut butter stuff for me, it's always close, but never there.
Sure. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I love peanut butter. Like, I would survive on peanut butter for the rest of my life, given the opportunity. But peanut butter whiskey, it's very, very either like really good or it's just not there. And I don't feel like there's ever an in-between. But yeah, super excited for that. I think, obviously I'll talk to the group, see if we can do like a little, cheap gift exchange. I think that would make things fun. Or like a white elephant, whatever that is, whatever we decide to do. But I'm looking forward to it. That's something that I look forward to every year because we host. It's a great time. Get the friends and family out. So, those are the things I'm looking forward to towards the end of the year. What about you? Anything big jumping out at you?
Nothing too crazy. Most of the really, really, really fun stuff that I've done, I've already kind of done. Went to see Hamilton down in Philly.
How was that?
It was good. Don't get me wrong. Great play. I didn't exactly look at the seats before I purchased the seats because it was also an anniversary gift. So I was like, you know what? Danielle loves Hamilton, loves it. Me and her watched it on Disney. I've been trying to get Broadway tickets, and they're just way too expensive. So I saw it was good in Philly. So I was like, you know what? I'm a good little what's the word I'm looking for? Coupon finder. Kind of good little sales finder. I found 2 seats, head on to the stage on the first level. Cool. So I buy them. So we get there. Danielle sits down. Perfect view, head on, sees everything. And I sit down, and there's a pillar. Right here. So the whole time, I'm like either leaning this way around the pillar, which was awkward because the family on this side of me put their like 10-year-old daughter next to me. So here I am, a 33-year-old, kind of like leaning closer to a 10-year-old, right? Or I lean in front of my wife's view. That's perfect to see like her side. So outside of that, it was a really, really, really fun experience. It was down at the Academy of Music down in Philly at the Kimmel Center. And I mean, bravo to all the performers. Phenomenal job. I don't know if you've watched Hamilton or not, but the actor that plays King Henry, which is like the comic relief of the show,
Okay.
plays him perfectly. Like he hit both his songs, or all 3 of his songs that he sings, are absolutely hysterical. Just the little jabs he takes at like America. So, because basically the whole thing is about like obviously like Hamilton's role during like the Revolutionary War. So like it's more about like what's going on the background between those guys, like him, Thomas Jefferson, all those kind of people. So the king's not really like a big part. So when he comes in, it's basically just like him talking shit on like America because it's not America yet. So he's like, oh, like, we'll see what happens when you don't have me around anymore. And then like later on, he comes in like when they're actually kind of like establishing themselves. So like every song he sings, he's getting like kind of more nervous and like more aggravated because like it's working for them on their own.
Yeah. So that's I get I knew I know the premise of Hamilton. I get the concept of it. I've never seen the Disney version of it, like on Disney Plus, and I've never seen obviously on Broadway or any other playwright type theater.
First half is definitely better than the second half.
It's one of those things where again I'm like, it's there. I'll get around to it eventually, and I'm nothing against it. Like I'm not like, oh, I hate musicals or whatever. I saw The Cursed Child.
It's 3
up
acts.
in New York.
That's a lot of time to cut out. It's like when the Batman came out, or like when Zack Snyder came out to Justice League. It's like Zack Snyder's Justice League. I sat there. I'm like, how am I cutting out 6 hours of a day and justifying just watching parts 1 through 6 straight through? I did it, but I get
it. Dude. Yeah, it's one of those things. Like again, I went up to New York. I can't even remember if it was on Broadway. Might have been off Broadway. Whatever. Cursed Child. Solid. Love Harry Potter. It's a day. It's a full day though. Like you're going in, getting your seats, you're getting everything ready, your concessions, drinks, blah blah. You sit down, do a little intro. Here's what we're gonna be doing today. Dim the lights. Action. Then there's the fucking. They pause. Everyone takes a break. There's an intermission. You go take a piss, grab more food, grab more drinks. Maybe I bought some stuff that you're not going to get anywhere else, like some Slytherin gear, because, you know, Team Slytherin right here, baby. All day.
And notice all the green behind you.
Yeah, right? Nah, definitely not all green. But, that being said, yeah, like I thought it was an awesome experience. Again, not something that I'm, like, actively itching for on a weekendly basis, but I would do it again. Like, I'd go to New York and do the experience again. It's fun. It was cool. It was a cool little thing to like go to. Again, I don't think it was Broadway or offshoot of Broadway, whatever it was, but it was up in New York. It was a good time. I would do Philly. There's a bunch of great actors and actresses in Philly, like, and that's a big thing for me. Just because it's not Broadway doesn't mean it's not going to be good.
Right.
Like that's the common misconception I feel. Like, I know people that I went to high school with who are like great actors and actresses, and like our high school productions were fucking wild. You know, so.
Well, it was actually kind of funny because Danielle was just like looking through like the cast and everything and was like looking up their IMDb's. And pretty much like everybody that was in the Philly one was on at least one episode of Law and Order.
Interesting.
Like it was just funny. She's like, oh, this person was on Law and Order. This person was on Law and Order. So was this person. So
that's
like, yes, it's
actually
probably
wild.
Like one-off extras in the background or something, but like it's just funny.
I mean, that's cool as shit though. Like, so that's my sister does that kind of stuff. She used to work for a talent agency in Philly. She's been in a couple TV series, commercials, things of that nature. But like, I would think that's such a cool little thing to have on your resume. Like, I wish I got into that. I wish I wasn't like a shy child. Because, who knows? Maybe I'd be famous now. Probably not, but who knows? But yeah, like, if I could go back and like slap myself in the face, I absolutely would. Be like, yo, get your shit together. Go be funny somewhere. Like, Shia LaBeouf. What the fuck did he do? He was just funny.
Pretty much. I mean, look at the
And now look at him. Now look at him. He's a socially awkward kid who was funny.
Fuck to her.
That's
made one joke on TikTok, and now all of a sudden she's the best thing since sliced bread. Yeah. No, me and Danielle want to do a day trip up to New York. She wants to go up to see it like for Christmas and everything. And then in January we're going to see Tom Segura again.
Oh, nice. He's fucking great.
He's hysterical. I absolutely like when it comes to comics. I've seen Jeff Dunham. I've seen Tom Segura. I've seen a couple of different people, but I mean Tom Segura, like just his stage presence is just so unbothered by hecklers, by whatever. Like he just goes up, very professional 99% of the time. Like he's so funny. I wanted to see Bert when he came. I think it was this past year, but didn't have a chance to. So we were like, oh, Tom Segura's coming back around. Then you got Metallica and Linkin Park are coming out. I
just saw the Linkin Park. I just saw Linkin Park today.
Yeah, and Metallica, they announced like a month or so ago. They're doing 2 nights. One night is with, I believe it's Metallica and Pantera. And then the other night is Metallica and Limp Bizkit.
Also solid. Again, it's, the soundtrack to my 90s, early 2000s teen angsty childhood. Love that.
And I don't know if they've announced who Linkin Park's going to be touring with yet.
I didn't see, so I drove by Wells Fargo today. And I saw the Linkin Park thing like on like their big billboard out front. And I was like, oh shit, like Linkin Park's coming to Philly.
In August, I think.
Yeah, I think it's mid-August, like 16, 17, 18, somewhere. In that general area. Let me know if that's something you're interested in doing.
100% is something I'm interested in doing. I just got to figure out when exactly it is, because I know in August, Danielle and I are going to Cabo for my stepdad's 50th. I think it's either towards the end of August or the beginning of September. Somewhere around there. But if I'm not, then, well, I am going. If I'm not there, then...
Yeah. That's awesome, though. That sounds like a fucking dope trip. I have never been to Cabo, so you gotta give me all the details.
I never
down to dirty shit.
Only time I've ever left the country was to go to Bermuda.
Okay. Just talking about traveling today. So Elena has not traveled much. And I was like, I look forward to like that kind of stuff. Like I want to travel more. I think it's one of my big things, like getting her a passport and really getting some stamps in there. Because I traveled a lot as a kid. Obviously, during my time in the military, I traveled a lot. I feel like I was on a fucking airplane like once a month. But it was just, having the opportunity to. And now that we have kids, obviously it slows down a little bit. But I was like, in the future, not too far future, I can start doing that kind of shit again. Get the kids. Like I went to Mexico. I went to the Bahamas when I was young. I would say to the Bahamas when I was older. It's significantly more fun because you can drink legally. It's just, I think it's a different experience. Or maybe like a cruise or something. I know we had talked about like the group of us doing like a big trip to Disney World, which, obviously you guys are more than welcome. Eddie, Dana are ready to go. Jay and Lexi are ready to go. Chris and Brenna, the whole squad, get down there, grab a block of hotel rooms and do something. That'd be fun. Even if it's just like a long weekend, like a 4-day weekend.
Right.
But
yeah, honestly, I want to do more like just across the country traveling. Like this year alone, I've gone to DC, Boston. We've been to Philly, obviously, a couple other like areas. But like I've never seen the Grand Canyon, never seen Mount Rushmore, never been to Yellowstone. So like I kind of want to work westward a little bit too.
So you're like, just make a list of national parks and just fucking make a trek. Like a week.
And that's what we want to do.
That's like a huge thing Like I said, I traveled a lot. My last two states that I haven't been to, driven through, flown into and spent some time there. I got Hawaii and Alaska. Hawaii is expensive as fuck. Alaska's kind of off the grid, like very off the grid.
Love to do an Alaskan cruise.
I think it would be dope too. Like my grandmother,
my grandparents
at this point,
always did them.
Yeah, so it had to have been 25 years ago at this point, but she did an Alaskan cruise and she loved it. But I'll tell you what, I've never been on a cruise, so I'd love to do that. I've gone a lot of places on an airplane, but never on a boat. Not like that. I'd love to get out on the water for a week, whatever it is. Hell, if I got the time, 2 weeks.
That's how
I always joke.
Agree to the trips. Put her on a boat and she'll be like, okay, when are we leaving?
See, that's awesome. Like I think it's one of those. Yeah. I definitely, whatever it is has to have decent childcare, whatever, but I'm down to do pretty much whatever because I'm a big kid at heart. So you want to zip line me into the ocean? That's fine. I'm down. Strap me to the back of the boat and let me fucking, water ski or parasail or I love that kind of shit. It's so much fun. Like when I was in the Bahamas last, I think it was 2015, maybe 15. I did like paddle boarding, sailing. I learned how to sail. I couldn't do it again because it's been a decade, but like that was such a fun experience. I did it once and I was like, this is so cool.
Somewhere.
A bunch of little shit like that. Like it was just fun, like, jet skis and whatever. But all-inclusive resorts are like my jam.
That's me. Like I like the cruise I went on and all, but for me, like I'd rather just fly somewhere, just spend the whole time there, and then just fly home.
Oh, no, trust me, I'm in for that 100%. But I think I want to do a cruise for the experience. That's something I've never done before, so it's on my bucket list. And yeah, it's there. I'll get there.
Yeah, no, outside of that, it's really just kind of getting caught up on some of my nerdier stuff. Obviously, I've yet to see Venom. That's on my bucket list.
I want to watch that, so let me know if you've got any free time, and this is coming up week, because I'm thinking about watching it at the house.
So, probably just like today or tomorrow, Monday through Thursdays, I have wrestling, and that's usually from like 6:30 to 9:30, plus one.
Okay.
So, best bet would be like Friday night, or if we're able to do it, or like on a weekend.
All right, yeah, I think I'm on days so I'm on nights Sunday, Monday, but then I'm on days Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So anytime after 6 o'clock, we can figure something out.
That works for me.
And yeah, that would be awesome. I want to check that out. I got a lot of stuff that I'm on, is on my list of nerdy things to do as well. I got games that I'm waiting to play, get into a little bit more. I want to try Space Marine out. I know we talked about that a couple episodes ago. I still have yet to actually download it and play it. But I was talking to one of my coworkers the other day, and somehow Leroy Jenkins came up.
Leroy Jenkins.
If you were a child in or a World of Warcraft player or a gamer in any time between 2003 to 2015, if you don't know the name Leroy Jenkins, you were under a rock. You were playing offline somewhere, maybe campaign mode. But I had to explain to my coworker, who is younger, by the way, he just turned 21, that there was a game of Warcraft prior to World of Warcraft, and it's been out since 1993 or 1994. That was the original Warcraft came out. And so that got me talking about that kind of stuff. And I was like, shit, man, that got, I was like, Warcraft really was one of the big, Warcraft 3 was the first big online type game I was playing. And then there was StarCraft, which I got into really big. Then there was the Warhammer games that I was really into for a while in middle school and high school. And it kind of took me down memory lane a little bit. And I was like, shit, I haven't downloaded Space Marine yet. I feel like a shitty fucking nerd for not doing that. But, oh well. I will get there when I get there.
I just saw they're supposedly coming out with a remastered version of Fable soon.
So I never played Fable. I know I'm fucking horrible for it. I know that there was 3 Fables.
I believe so. I believe it was 3.
And I know that was a phenomena type game. It was very open world. It was one of the first big open world games like that, Mass Effect, Fable, kind of really stole a show from people. So it was one of those things that I was like, this seems like a cool ass game that I want to play, and I never really got into it, mostly because like I was heavy into Call of Duty at the time.
Right.
But it's one of those shows where I'm like, hey, not shows, Jesus Christ, one of those games where I'm like, hey, I'll get into it. And now we're like 3 console generations past when it was last released. So maybe if it's backwards compatible, we'll see. You ever played No Man's Sky?
Heard of it, but I haven't. The one game everyone's been telling me to start getting into, honestly, is I believe was it Left 4 Dead? Yeah, Left 4 Dead or Dead Rising. It's the one where like there's 4 people and then 1 hunter.
Yeah, it's probably Dead Rising. Left 4 Dead was just like a zombie like partner killer game.
Dead by Daylight was the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
and Steve were telling me about it.
If you want to play, let me know. I'll download it and I'll gladly play.
I'm still debating. Like you said, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm going to play it today, and then I end up watching something else and don't know.
That's my biggest problem. It's so easy to just like turn on a TV series and like the biggest thing that I hate about video games in 2024 is like every time I turn my fucking system on, it's like, you got an update. Okay, how long's the update? 5 gigabytes. I'm like, motherfucker.
Yep, and that's pretty much why I stopped playing Call of Duty when I did. During COVID, we would always have our duty days. Me, you, AJ, Bill, Eddie, we'd all jump on, and we'd be playing. And I'd be sitting there watching it up, doing the download for 4.5 hours. Then it would finally be done, and everybody'd have to get off, and I'd be like, cool, see you guys.
And then the next time you jump on, it's the same fucking story. Dude, it's terrible.
And the worst part about it is, like, I would sit there and be, like, scrolling through everything in the game. It'd be, like, 1 new mod to a gun. And it was, like, a 4-hour update. And I'm like, really? That's it? You change, like, the grip? Like, it's not even, like, you put in a new map or you put in a whole new gun. You edit it.
Here's what fucks me up. And if you're listening and you have a way around this, please, like, let us know. I wish there was a way that you could have like almost like an automatic update, or like my computer automatically updates. So if it's on, it's just going to update. Cool. Why? Like, my PlayStation is in rest mode right now, which means I can actively turn it on, boom, it's right back to where it was. No problem, no harm, no foul. Well, it's in rest mode. It gets an update. Fucking update. Stop dicking around where I gotta like wait 3 hours for an update because we're 3 updates behind now because you haven't played this game in a while. So it's going to be fucking 10 gigs and it's going to be 3 hours until you can touch the game. Just update. You're awake. Let the fucking Xbox, anytime an update comes through for a game that I own, turn on and update. I don't need to actively be playing it. The Xbox needs to be on in a sleep style mode and just it'll update. Because I'm so fucking tired. I went to play Xbox the other day and it was like, you need to update this game. So I was like, cool. Next. It was like, Hogwarts Quidditch World Champions. Boom, you gotta update it. All right, cool. FC 24. Nope, you gotta update it. Cool. Now down to this. Nope, you gotta update it. Cool. Well, down to this. Nope, you gotta update it. I'm like, well, I don't want to update. Well, you can't play it unless you update it. Well, fuck you.
And the best is that you have to have like the game in the console. If it's actually like the hard copy, it's like, then how come every time I put a new game in, you have to download the entire game?
Dude, I got into that the other day with one of my coworkers. I was like, dude, I hate the fact that like if you buy a physical game, it downloads the game anyway. So what is the difference? And then you need the physical copy. So like, God forbid you scratch it or lose it or what, you can't play it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I was like, there's no, besides it being cheaper, right? Like besides me buying PS4 games that were upgradable to PS5, there's no reason for me to buy any games anymore, physical. Or a used PS5 game from GameStop. Like, what is my incentive? This is my heavy rant right now. Sorry. But yeah, no, gaming is vastly different than it used to be, and it's starting to piss me off. Not in like, I'm not going to game anymore, because I still will, like I always will, but it's getting more frustrating. Like, I miss the days where you would blow into a cartridge, boom, pop that bitch in, we're playing Mario Kart. I didn't need save states. You and I'm going to be Yoshi, you're going to be Toad, I'm going to whoop your ass, you're going to whoop my ass for a little bit, and we're going to have fun, and then guess what? The game restarts when I put it back in.
I was going to say, I feel like they overcorrected. So we started with, we started with like, don't turn your Game Boy off, or guess what? You're starting back at level 1 with 0 save function. To now it's like, hey, remember that checkpoint you had? Well, now there's a 24 gigabyte download that you got to do to carry on from there. And it's like, nah, like...
Dude, I'm playing through Jedi Survivor, and every time you save the game and rest at a checkpoint, all the fucking enemies respawn, which I'm fine with. Like, it's not like I'm playing on some crazy difficulty level. Like, I'm playing on like the
You're playing to
average difficulty or like one step above average.
Yeah, you're playing to enjoy the game.
Fucking frustrating.
That's why I put down the first one. I played the first one for like a little bit, and then it's like every time I would save, I would just get like jacked up by every enemy around. I'm like, dude, this is stupid. Like,
This super cool meeting Cal Kestis though. Cameron Monaghan. That was a highlight.
I believe it. So, before we start wrapping up, what's one thing that you're looking forward to outside of like the holidays coming up?
So I guess again, kind of touch base on it. Outside of the holidays, I'm looking forward to, kind of getting together with the boys, our families again, getting everyone over to the house, hanging out, catching up. The kind of stuff that like when you become an adult you don't do as frequently as you probably should. I think it's one of the hardest things of growing up is you don't, it's not like I don't have a, work tomorrow or I don't have responsibilities at home or anything like that. Like, and we can just go out every day of the week. This is something that's like when you do get the opportunity to do it, it's kind of important. So I take a lot of pride in like trying to do those things when I can. I think that's a big thing for me. So I'm definitely looking forward to having everyone over and, celebrating our accomplishments over the past year with the friends that I refer to as family. What about you?
Right now, I'm regretting letting you go first because I was going to say the fact that Craven the Hunter comes out in December. But nah, yeah. You give this long, heartfelt speech about like friends and family and spending time with each other. I'm like, dude, there's another. Honestly, I mean, for me, this time of the year is always kind of like it always gives him PTSD because as an ex-wrestler who used to cut a lot of weight, like I could never celebrate Thanksgiving because I couldn't eat. I could never celebrate like Christmas because I was always cutting weight, like at least the food part of it. But for me, it's just one of those things where, like you said, kind of actually having time to spend with the people that you don't get a lot of time to spend with. We're doing
Absolutely.
Whether it's going to see things like Craven the Hunter or Venom 3, or even if it's just meeting up at somebody's house, pitching in for a bottle of whiskey and enjoying it.
Absolutely. But speaking of Craven, we should either do a giveaway. Well, we should probably do a giveaway and go see it. So we'll figure out something along those lines. So, guys, if you've made it this far into our episode, keep an eye out for a giveaway for Craven the Hunter. Huge fan.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yes.
For any updates.
Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends and family that you're going to have at your house for Christmas. Last but not least, check us out on all of our social medias at Nerds Who Drink. And without further ado, I'm Steve.
And I'm Mark.
And we'll catch you guys next time.